Welcome to Wasatch Weekends for this Friday, October 20th edition. I'm your host, Ben Roof. On today's show, we've got Katie Wang of Park City Film stopping by to tell us about all of their upcoming showings this weekend. And then Kevin Shields gets the chance to learn a little bit about how we can best plan our next luxury vacation. But a quick local announcement to start things off. The Park City Miners took their first loss of the season last Friday against Springville, which means, unfortunately, they're saying goodbye to their undefeated regular season. But they've still made the playoffs and they have a bye for this upcoming weekend, which means on October 27th, they're going to face off against the winners of the Dixie versus Logan game. But the Park City Miners girls soccer team are playing today at 2 p.m. and they are looking for a victory against Green Canyon, which means they will secure the 4A state title. Good luck, Miners. But now, let's take a quick look at the weather before we get on with the rest of the show.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. It's Friday, so once again, we've got Katie Wang of Park City Film joining us to tell us all about their upcoming programming. Welcome to the show, Katie.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's so nice to have you. So what do you guys have going on this week?
So this week we're excited to bring back a film that premiered at the 2023 Sundance Film Festival. It's called Flora and the Sun. So for folks that are familiar with Sundance and films about music, you may know the director John Carney. He did Once and Sing Street. So this is his latest film. And it's about a single mom who's just trying to connect with her son. He's been getting in a lot of trouble. They live in Dublin. So beautiful setting, of course. And so she decides to buy him a guitar as kind of a new hobby for him to take up, which of course, any of you that are parents of teens, as I am, know that that didn't go so well. So after her rejection of that plot, she ends up taking up the guitar herself to just kind of figure out what it's all about, take up a new hobby, and just ends up discovering her own voice through the music and through just kind of connect, and is able to connect to her son in a different way through music, not through the guitar, but through the music that he likes, which happens to be hip hop. But beautifully acted by Eve Hewson and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. It's just one of those fantastic kind of heartwarming celebratory films that are just a perfect way to kick off the fall season.
That's awesome. It actually kind of parallels my own experience a little bit, where when I was in high school, my mom bought me a guitar, sent me to guitar lessons. It didn't quite stick, but now she's been an avid ukulele and guitar player ever since.
See, there you go. Yep. So at least, try what's that back, what's your plan B is sometimes maybe this is something I would enjoy. So, and music is such a great connector, but his films are so good because it's about so much more than just the immediacy of their relationship, but it's really about how transformative music can be in one's life and just all those different connecting points of, kind of relating to your life and to the world at large. So it's always a thrill to be able to bring John Carney's films to the screen.
Well, and he does such an excellent job of showing how music can be that catalyst to change and growth and connection in our relationships, which is just an absolutely incredible message. What else do you guys have coming up?
Sure. So if you want to see Flora and Sun, it'll be Friday and Saturday at 7, and then again Sunday at 6. And you can get tickets online at parkcityfilm.org or at the box office an hour before showtime. And then we want to put out a teaser for next weekend, the end of October, where we are showing this year's ski film. Every year we like to kick off the winter with our annual show from Matchstick Production. And this year their film is called The Land of Giants. And what they've done, which I think is so clever, is they're showcasing the mountains upon which they are skiing. So we've had, of course, an epic winter around the world. So you'll see the mountain ranges of Japan, Norway, British Columbia, and of course our own Wasatch Range here, and featuring some of our local skiers, including Olympian Colby Stevenson. So always fun to see our backyard and some of our local favorites on the big screen. But that'll be October 27th, 28th, 29. And the opening night show, Friday night, has a history of selling out. So if you do want to come see that show, which is why we're mentioning it early, please get your tickets now, because that'll be when all the athletes are there and the fun swag and just all that stuff that you love about ski movie premieres. But parkcityfilm.org, you can get all that information for both of those shows and what we have, other films we have coming up, and get your tickets now while they're available.
I gotta say, I am so excited for Land of Giants, and I've always loved the ski movies when they come out, and I always make it a big point to go to the big premieres as kind of the kickoff in my own mind to ski season and getting ready and all that stoke getting prepared. And I'm really excited for how they've really taken this additional angle and kind of showcasing a little bit more of the terrain and the grandiosity of the mountains over just the stories of the athletes themselves and the stories of the trips and journeys, which are always such a great part of the ski movies. It's great to see them kind of grounding it in a little bit more of the environment that makes everything possible.
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of why we ski, right? I mean, it's the deep powder, obviously, like who doesn't love that? But then just the beautiful landscapes, the opportunity to see, be immersed and surrounded by these incredible ranges, and just to kind of be out in nature in such a completely unique way. But yeah, so it's fun. I love that they've taken this angle this year and said, like, when you watch the trailer, it's like featuring, and instead of the names of the athletes, it's the names of all the ranges. And so if you check that out, there's a very funny opening scene where we've been showing the trailer in the theaters where someone's digging their truck out from endless snow, and everyone's like, Park City last winter, and you're like, absolutely. So I'm not thrilled about the prospect of digging my car out of deep snowbanks, but I am excited for powder skiing.
Yeah, it does come with a little bit of cons there in the winter. Bad roads, having to dig our cars out, sometimes slipping and falling down the walkways.
But you do get to ski it, so that's the good news. I just bought a new snowblower. My old one finally gave up the ghost after 20 years. Last winter was kind of the death knell. So
20 years is a good run, though.
Exactly.
So what else do you guys have on the horizon? It's my understanding that Sundance tickets are starting to become available, or at least the passes for the entire event.
Yes, and what's exciting this year about Sundance is they've kind of, as folks have been following along over the past couple of years after they reopened after COVID, they did away with the locals pass. But they last year, and some people were a little bit bummed out about that. They're like, oh, we wanted to get that locals pass. We can get kind of a discount on some of the tickets. They still have a locals pass. But on the second half of the festival, so starting, I think it's the Tuesday of festival starts on a Thursday. So the following Tuesday, if you buy tickets for the second half for a pass, it's back to the pricing that we're used to for the locals pass. So it's about half the price of the front half locals pass. So if you are looking for a little bit of a discount, more of a discount than we had last year, definitely look at those second half tickets. And what's fantastic is, it's the same films and the talent will still be here. So you can cruise down Main Street and check out all the cool stuff and people and pop-ups and all that, and then enjoy some movies on the second half. So I've really appreciated how Sundance has spread out the love this year in the festival so that we can get people throughout the festival and not just all crammed into that first weekend. So, and lots of great films, of course, that we'll find out about here at the end of November. But definitely encourage people to get their tickets now while they're available, and enjoy some great films here up in Park City.
Well, and I imagine that that's an important thing for the Sundance Film Festival, is to make sure that they do save a little bit of space there for the locals to participate, because it is such a major international event with a draw from all over the world, with some of the biggest names in Hollywood showing up. So it's, I would imagine, a bit of a big deal to make sure that there's an opportunity for the people here in Park City to actually be able to attend and enjoy the festivities as well.
Absolutely. And they always have had discounted tickets for the Salt Lake Valley. So that's been kind of a new thing in the past few years to incentivize folks down in the valley to come participate because they haven't been at the same numbers as we do up here in Park City. But, absolutely. I mean, they love being in Park City. Every time you talk to the folks at Sundance who we work closely with, because we run the venue that we have, the Jim Santee Auditorium becomes the library theater. And we run all the concessions there. But, they're always trying to figure out ways to give back. They'll have the local film screening, Townie Tuesday is what it used to be called. I'm not sure what it's going to be called this year, but just kind of figure out ways of how can they, in the midst of this enormous international film festival, right, the first one on the calendar, how do you make sure that the locals feel the love and get taken care of and get an opportunity if they choose to come see films during festival, or why Park City Film was created was to bring those films back after festival. So you've got lots of opportunities to engage with these great films, but certainly seeing it in the moment in January is a lot of fun.
Well, and that's certainly the benefit of having such a great organization like Park City Film here to help bring those films back and to continue showing them after the event. And then, of course, to just bring the community together around so many of these amazing films like Land of Giants coming up. And remind me one more time what this weekend's film is?
It's called Flora and Sun. So John Carney's latest film, music, connection, community, just a fantastic film about the transformative power of art and music. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, of course, is always fantastic, and Eve Hewson as well.
Awesome. And one more time, it's parkcityfilm.org if you need to get tickets, or you can get tickets at the box office, correct?
Absolutely. And bring your own bowl, get $1 off popcorn, lighten your footprint on the environment, where our world famous Park City Film popcorn is ready and waiting for you.
Awesome. Well, Katie Wang of Park City Film, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And we will be right back after a short break. Welcome back to Wasatch Weekends. Kevin Shields had the opportunity to sit down with an expert on travel to figure out how we can best set up our next luxury getaway. Let's take a look.
There is always a lot going on in and around this wonderful place we call the United States and across the world when it comes to travel. Now, I've got Stephanie Oswald here with me. We're talking, and she is a premier travel expert, but much, much more than that. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin, from Isla Mujeres off the coast of Cancun.
Beautiful that is in the backdrop. Wow.
It is pretty impressive. And I'll tell you what, we are at Impression, which is a new resort by Secrets. Incredible, over-the-top luxury, romance, adults only. I feel like a very lucky travel girl today.
You absolutely are. Now, before we start diving into the travel, I want to talk a little bit about you because you are an Emmy award-winning journalist and you worked with CNN doing a lot of travel information that goes by, just being a globetrotter and talking about everything. Tell me a little bit about that.
It was pretty exciting. I had a show, it was called CNN Travel Now. I like to say I was the travel reporter on CNN before Anthony Bourdain. No offense to him, of course. He was amazing. But we were very lucky. We did, and my focus was on adventure travel. So I traveled through Australia and through Costa Rica, zip lining, and all kinds of adventure travel. So it was really fun.
So you are the person that's in the know, and we're lucky to have you on this segment. So let's talk about luxury travel, because now that's kind of the new catchphrase. People wanting to get into luxury travel. Now, is luxury the amount of money you're spending? Is it the experience itself? How are you seeing these travelers categorize luxury?
No, Kevin, what's great is we are seeing a huge surge in luxury travel. And after I left CNN, I started a magazine called Travel Girl, and we've seen luxury change over the years, but right now it is skyrocketing. And people have realized that life is short, take the trip, and it's not about how much money you spend on your trip, it's about the experiences you have when you get there. Travelers want authentic experiences. They want to connect with the people and the places that they're visiting.
So if someone wants that amazing experience, how do you custom curate a travel itinerary to best suit their needs?
Well, you can go online and do some research, but when it comes down to it, if you really want to have the best vacation, the most luxurious experiences, and the most bang for your buck, you want to work with a travel advisor. In fact, One part of the survey, a group said that they were 80% more likely than any other type of vacation. And that's because, Kevin, people associate luxury with not having to make decisions. So when you work with a travel advisor, they can help you figure out your budget, they can help you figure out your itinerary, they can help you find the perfect place to match your interests. And when it comes to luxury, another tip, get with whoever you're traveling with and decide what's most important to you, because luxury is different for everyone. A lot of people associate big, spacious rooms full of amenities, also fine dining experiences with local cuisine, and of course, spa treatments, wellness centers. Those are some of the key elements to a luxury vacation.
Absolutely. When you come back from a trip like that, you don't want to feel like you need another vacation from your vacation. You want to come back to be able to tell the stories and about that experience with your friends and loved ones, for sure. And I imagine, so a travel advisor, because it gets very stressful when you're trying to plan a travel, even for an individual, but when you're talking about a family or a couple or a group, even more so. So how does a travel advisor work on all those different dynamics?
Well, that's where it comes to the idea of building a relationship with that travel advisor so that they know whether you care about thread count, whether you care about children's activities. This, for example, Impression is an adults-only resort, but there are beautiful, luxurious resorts all over the world that cater to families where they have these incredible kids programs. And they're going to make sure that your kid, they're not just watching videos in a small little room. They're going to be out hiking and learning about insects and learning about art and learning maybe a new language. So working with a travel advisor, they're going to find exactly what is going to fit your niche, what is going to make your family the happiest. And for example, here, one of the things when it comes to romance, every room comes with a personal butler, which is great.
Wow.
They will help you unpack your bags when you get here. They'll help you pack up when you have to leave. And along the way, they'll help you go through the itineraries and explain what you need to wear if you're going to go to a meditation, or how you should plan if you're going to go for a biking tour of the island. So it's just great having that butler. It's kind of like having your own personal concierge on your vacation.
That is absolutely amazing. I can't even imagine having that type of service. Now, with your experience and all the different generations you've dealt with, which would you say is the most bougie when it comes to travel?
Well, Kevin, that is really a trick question, because when it comes to which generation is the most bougie, I think we're all going to have something different to say. You know, I was nearby you recently. I was in Park City. And it was so luxurious. It was beautiful. So maybe wine and wine tasting is important to you on your vacation. Or maybe you're into art. Or maybe or learn how to dive. They have some programs here for that, and you can see how beautiful that water is. You want to get into it. Or maybe ecotourism is important to you. They have a program here that works with local farmers to help them save the sharks, and they want to make sure that the farmers have an income, but they also want to protect the environment. This resort is also solar the right destination for you and the right resort at that destination.
Yeah, I can imagine. And you talked about that relationship that you build with your travel advisor. How does that travel advisor then build that relationship with those key destinations to be able to make that traveler feel like a local and actually be able to infuse themselves into the culture that they're visiting?
Well, you know, we used to say travel agency, and it used to be about purchasing tickets and getting those logistics done. But now a more important and a more appropriate title is travel advisor, because these people, for example, we're here in Mexico this week for a convention, Ascend, where people are getting together, talking about trends. They are taking classes. They are learning about different destinations. Travel advisors, they spend their time. Yes, it's a great job, but it's also a lot of work. They are making sure that they know where the construction is happening. They know where, the Olympics are coming to Paris, so
right.
We're going to have to be careful because there's going to be certain pressures that get put on the city because of the Olympics. They might advise you, oh, you want to go to Machu Picchu? Do you want to hike or do you want to take the train. They know when there's a strike going on somewhere or if there's a deal happening at one of your favorite destinations. And that's where, when you have a relationship with them, they may say, hey, we know that Kevin really likes the Caribbean, and right now there is a wonderful special going on, and we want to send him off to Curacao, or maybe you're going to go to Turks and Caicos, or maybe it doesn't. Once they know you, they'll know where you want to go.
Custom curated. So Stephanie, thank you so much. So much information, so much assistance in planning this. Where can someone go to find out more information?
Well, I'll give you a couple of websites, Kevin. Travel Girl Magazine, we're celebrating 20 years. You can get a free digital subscription if you go to Travel Girl Inc., travelgirlinc.com. Okay. And if you're looking for a travel advisor, you want to go to traveladvisorsgetyouThere.com. All kinds of information on that website, too. Great place to start your research.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Get out there, travel more, and share that with all these people that want to enjoy the show.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Well, that's all the time we have for this Friday edition of Wasatch Weekends. Don't forget to catch us for our 1-hour Saturday edition. We've got a local author, a local artist, and some other fantastic educational opportunities. Until then, I'm your host, Ben Roof, and this is Wasatch Weekends.